Hi, I'm Kyle, a tired therapist.
And I'm Jackie, also a tired therapist.
And together, we are
Two tired therapists.
Welcome to the pod. Welcome.
Yay.
Happy 2023.
Ew.
I know.
It's a real big ew for
It's
me.
a real,
I'm so sorry.
it gives the ick, as the kids would say.
Yeah, it gives the heebie-jeebies.
It's, can you believe 2023?
I know, it's so gross. When you think about like 2018 being 5 years ago, to me that was still like a year ago.
I don't know why you had to say that.
I know, I had to immediately attack.
We were having such a great time until this happened.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
New Year, new us.
New Year, well.
Hashtag back on my bullshit.
Hashtag back on my bullshit, yeah. Well, on that note,
Yep.
it's New Year, but it's still a tired year.
It is a very tired year.
Do you have anything perhaps you are feeling tired of, Jackie, that you would like to share with us?
You know what I'm tired of? Mm-hmm. Your lies.
Oh no. Oh
Exposed.
No. Exposed.
We're exposing Kyle today on the podcast.
I wondered. That's what the episode's about.
Yes, you're getting exposed. You want to know why?
I deserve to be.
Because we found out recently
that
Kyle is a Taylor Swift fan.
Well, in a past life. Past life,
Past Kyle.
Would you, how did you find that out?
You texted me a picture of, what was it, your time hop?
It was a time hop, yes.
From 13 years ago.
13, yeah.
Which would have been about 2009, 2010, maybe. We're not sure. Where it said
we don't need to talk about it
that you're in love with Taylor Swift.
I did. Yeah. We'll
Care
post it. Well, I no comment. Have you ever seen, I don't know if it's a Vine, but it's that lady where they ask her questions. She goes, well, next question. And then she like walks away. That's me right now.
Love it.
Yeah. And it was a very simple post. I think it was on the Facebook 13 years ago.
What were you doing 13 years ago?
At 4:12 p.m. I said, because this was back in the day where Facebook would put like
you couldn't change you couldn't change it.
Right. So anything you put, it would say Kyle is blah blah blah. So
real OGs will remember that.
Real OGs will remember that. And it says is in love with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, so you were it was a deep.
It was deep. When I saw that, I was like
exposed.
I'm being punked. I've logged into somebody else's. I don't know. I have no idea. So I deserve to be exposed and to be tired because I did cancel Taylor a couple episodes ago.
You did. You were very adamant about it.
Very adamant about it. And turns out when I was somewhere between the ages of 18 and 25, I loved her. I'm disappointed in myself.
Truly. You do look a little disappointed.
I am, because I'm like, I wanted to go back on Facebook and find the post.
Right.
To see like what
was going on at that time. Did someone
comment on it? Right. What was I talking about? What was I doing?
Was there a specific, song and or album at that time?
I don't know.
That was before I listened to her. So
it's tired.
It is tired.
So yeah, truly canceled now. I mean, if I haven't been canceled previously,
right?
I am truly.
There's been some controversial things that you've said on this podcast that maybe would get you canceled in many different ways.
But anyone who's still listening, I'm probably not canceled.
Right.
So it's great. So this will now be the Jackie episode. It'll be one tired therapist.
Right. Love it. What are you tired of?
Well, not that I can follow that by any means.
Right.
But I'd like to stay a little festive since it's still, it's still
winter.
It's still winter. People who put the like antlers on their car to be like reindeer, and they like put the nose on the grill.
It looks like a little
We gotta stop that. That is, we don't.
To me, that doesn't bother me so much as like the eyelashes on the headlights.
I'm so glad. I was gonna mention that too as an adjacent people who put the eyelashes on their the Volts. What was it? The Beatles?
But like I've seen it on other cars too.
Oh really? I see it on.
I see it mostly on Beatles, but I've seen other cars do it.
No. We can't. In general, it's a no for me, dog. It's a no. Like, I did see the other day, I saw someone driving down the road, and they had, like, Christmas lights on their car. And I was impressed at first, but then it was a Jeep, so I was like, oh, of course. Like, because Jeep people are different. Let's have that conversation.
Okay.
They do all kinds of weird things, but this literal Christmas lights on their car. But even that, I was like, no.
That just seems excessive to me. I don't know why you would want to do that.
It's excessive.
What happens if you get into a crash? What happens if you,
They can find you, I guess. Because you're lit up.
You're lit up like a Christmas tree.
But yeah, we got to stop the antlers. We got to stop the red noses. I just think
you don't like car decorations. Because you didn't like the flags on cars.
Oh. Yeah, just
That's not your thing.
No, and people have like 5,000 bumper stickers.
Yeah. Well, and some of those, I don't mind bumper stickers. Like, I don't mind like maybe 5 or less. Like, we're fine. But we just saw a car recently, Justin and I did, that was like almost 100% bumper sticker. And I was like, how do you, what if you don't like something anymore? Or like, what if, how do you get that off?
Yeah, what if you get a divorce? What are you scraping off that husband?
You're scraping off that stick figure. Just goodbye. Those ones are. We just saw one the other day that I was like, I forget what it said, and I told Justin, I was like, don't ever do that. Yeah, don't ever buy me one. Don't ever.
Yeah, there are some that are okay. Usually, if they're like Star Wars, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like it really depends on what you're putting out there.
Right. If it's like baby on board.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It said dog. Justin held up a little thing for us. It said dog mom, and I was like, please don't.
Please don't get that for me. No.
No, it's not for me. To me, it's the salt life. Really, truly, in the non-ocean states are the best.
Right. Like you go to Florida once a year, maybe, but you go to like Treasure Island.
Right. You go to Key West.
And you.
Right. Like the salt life to me is just. That one annoys me the most.
Right.
That are the marathon ones.
Oh yeah. And
I'm like, I'm fine if you're proud of your marathon. Right. I totally am fine with that. But you don't have to put a sticker on your car.
I know it's like 13.0,
you know it's 45. You're going to bring it up in conversation with
repeating, like all these weird decimals. Right. I don't get it.
You're going to bring it up to me in conversation. Like, I don't know. And you don't have a sticker on your car.
And guess what? I'm not going to give a shit either way.
Right. Right. I just think you're a douche if you have it on your car. Yeah. Sorry.
That was a couple things that were tired. We really gave people a bonus. We're starting 2023 correct.
Hashtag back on my bullshit.
Hashtag back on my bullshit.
Yeah.
Hashtag did I ever leave?
Right. No. No, that did not happen. I did not leave.
The correct answer is no.
No. Hard no.
Did you have a nice holiday?
Yeah, it was great. How was yours?
It was okay. It was quiet. Always quiet.
Yeah. That's not always a bad thing.
Any favorite gift? What's a good gift you got? Anything?
I got a lot of books, which I was very excited about.
Anything good?
I read one of them already.
Oh my god.
In one day. Because it was really good. And I was like, ooh, this is great. It was called The Silent Woods.
Okay.
I don't know who writes it. I wish I knew right now, but I read it and it was very good. It's about a guy and his daughter who live in the woods. And you kind of find out why they live in the woods. Like, they live in the woods remotely. Like, no one else lives there. They don't go out to town. They literally live in their cabin. It was very good.
Oh, is it The Silent Woods, a novel?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's by Kimmy Cunningham Grant.
Yes. I was going to say, I know the first name is Kimmy, but I couldn't remember the last name. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nope, it was very good.
In Appalachia.
Mm-hmm.
In the Appalachians.
Yep.
Wow.
Very good.
Very good.
What'd you get? Did you get anything that you liked?
Yeah, well, my parents are pretty good gift givers. They usually split up. My dad gets me like things that I like, and then my mom gets me gift cards and things. So my dad got me a lot of Star Wars things this year. My favorite that I haven't tried out yet is he got me a popcorn maker, like an air popper, but it's shaped like the Death Star, which probably means nothing to you.
It does. No, I've seen the old Star Wars.
Okay.
Like the 1970s ones.
Why'd you say it like that? The old.
Because I've not seen any of the newer stuff. I think I saw like episode 1 a long time ago. That was it.
But anyways, it's the Death Star, and it's really cool, and I haven't used it yet. So
next time we come to Chateau Kyle, we'll have to
break it out.
Yeah,
it's on top of the fridge because you can't put that in a cabinet. Well, it's 2023, as we said, and so we thought maybe it would be fun to talk about New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
It is scary because I don't think it's going to be very funny because this is something I feel very passionate about.
Okay, because I do too.
So it's going to be educational
maybe this
probably
will be like,
not funny at all.
Right.
So sorry, people.
Oh.
But we will be bringing the education. It's going to get educational in here.
Love it.
Yet again. So we thought, it's kind of we're 10 days into January.
Just about, yeah.
And we're wondering, how's it going? How are your resolutions going? Because a lot of people, I think, start out real strong.
Sure, yeah, always.
And then I don't know. I didn't look up. I did look up some research for this episode. Like I said,
good.
I got educational. I'm so sorry.
When you wanted to program this, I figured you and I would do the same thing, that's exactly what I would have done. Yeah.
But I didn't look at like how quickly people tend to like fall off, but I think it's pretty quick.
I have a fun anecdote for when it's appropriate, unless you want me to tell it right now.
No, go, please.
So when I was in college, I used to work out, and I say that with quotes around it because I literally would get on an elliptical 5 days
Just like
a week.
she works out now.
Work out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I legitimately work out, but back then I would literally get on an elliptical for 30 minutes and just go on the elliptical, and that was all that I did.
But that is working out, Jackie.
I know, but like I didn't lift any weights. I didn't like run. I didn't do anything. Like I just got my ass on an elliptical.
I'm glad you're bringing this up because we're going to talk about that.
Right. So I'll never forget it when I was in college, when I would come back from winter break, because I worked out all year round. I didn't just go in the beginning of the year, but I'll never forget when I came back from winter break in the first week of January, second week of January, gym is full of people. Gym is full.
Right.
Second week, it's a little less. Third week,
yeah,
it's like no one is there anymore.
Right.
And that always made me laugh every year that I was in college, because I would go first thing back in winter break and there would be 1,000 people, and then by the third week there would be nobody again.
Well, and I think people who do, our gym goers do regret. Right. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Regret.
They do. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. But they do not like the beginning of the year because everybody is, it's very crowded, and then all of a sudden it's not crowded.
Correct. It was hilarious. Mm-hmm. That, or then there would be somebody on a treadmill just like watching TV or texting, and they'd be barely walking, and it was the best thing ever. Right.
So do you do that? Do you do New Year's resolutions? Are you a resolution kind of gal?
I do, but they're not like, mine is always read more books, because I always do really good at the beginning of the year and then I fall off. So mine is always read more books. But that's all I do.
That's one of the common ones.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's one of the most common ones. I think I have them down here later on. We'll talk about them. So where do you think people go wrong with the resolutions?
Too big, too fast.
Yes, too much change at once.
Right.
Because people don't understand that, like, humans, we don't like change.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Hard stop. Like, any kind of change. Even if it's, like, desired change or wanted change or healthy change. Like, we don't...
It doesn't,
we don't like it. Mm-mm. And, yes, people tend to go way too big, right? They say, like you said, I want to be healthy, and so I'm going to go to the gym every day for 2 hours when I go.
Oh my God, that's so intense.
Not at all, and I haven't been for 45 years.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yes, exactly. So too much change at once. Mm-hmm. Another one is people are not specific enough with their resolution.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or they're too specific, so they go into the extremes. So
okay, yeah.
It's either like, I want to be healthy. That is not a good resolution.
Right.
It's not
specific. Well, yeah, what does
enough.
That mean? Because that can mean so many different things. Yeah.
Exactly. But then people also say, well, I want to be healthy, so I'm going to go to the gym every day, and I'm going to work on the elliptical for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to lift weights for 45 minutes, and then I'm going to... That's too specific. Now you've pigeonholed yourself into a very certain thing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I always say your goals, and this is, I kind of learned this from a place we may or may not work. Right. Mm-hmm. That your goals should not be a roadmap. They should be a GPS.
Sure. Yeah.
So what that means is, when you have like your GPS and it's telling you where to go, and if you accidentally turn or you don't turn, it just recalculates you.
Right.
And so we want to be that way with our goals, where if we get off of the road, then it just brings us back and it's okay. Yeah. Whereas a roadmap is very fixed, and we don't want to do that. Another thing is that we put too much pressure, right? There's like, okay, I want to be healthy and I have to be healthy next week. And that, I think that goes along with that is it's not an internal or an intrinsic goal. So it's one that you maybe don't care about. Yeah. So again, I'll use the health one a lot just because that's an easy one. People will say like, I want to be healthy, but then they think that has to mean I'm going to go to the gym. Right. Or like you were saying earlier, well, I only was on the elliptical for 30 minutes. Right. Well, that's great.
That's literally all I did. It was amazing.
Which leads me to my next one, which is criticism. So a lot of people will criticize themselves when they aren't like perfect, right? And that kind of goes to another one, is just like all or nothing thinking. If I say I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week and I only go 4 days, then I failed. When in reality, you went 4 days.
Which is probably 4 more days than you went.
Exactly, 400% better. So those are just some that I was thinking about, like where people go wrong when they start to create these resolutions. So Jackie, it sounds like you've done a lot of these. So that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments?
Did you look up what are like the most popular, most common resolutions? Like,
I did.
okay. Because that's all I can think about is I'm sure the most common one is like lose weight or like be healthy. I'm sure is like the number one most common.
Let me look it up.
I was about the books thing because that doesn't seem as popular to me as as you would think.
A lot of them are health related. So for 2022, so here were the top 2022 resolutions. So the top one was to exercise more.
Sure, that makes total sense to me.
Under that was to eat healthier at 44%.
Okay.
And then to lose weight at 41%. There was then to spend more time with family friends at 34%. To live more economically at 24%.
Oh, that's a good one.
To spend less time on social media, 21%. To reduce stress on the job, also 21%.
Sure.
And I think another big one, to quit smoking.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
Yeah. But I think a lot of them are very much health related. So I brought a couple things that I think will help people either kind of start planning their resolutions.
Right.
Or if you're having a little hard time.
You're on the struggle bus. It's okay.
It's okay.
We're here for you.
We're here, and very much are we here for you. Right. Because we are.
I am a passenger on the struggle bus quite often.
And I'm driving. Right. So it's great.
Love it.
So the first thing I think is a really common thing to talk about, but it is really important. Mm-hmm. And I know people are going to be like, ugh, we're talking about this. And I'm sure you know what it is. Any guesses? No?
No.
Really?
I'm afraid to
SMART
guess.
Goals.
Oh, okay. I did. When you were talking earlier about goal setting, I was thinking SMART goals then. Yes. Not the GPS, but that's
yes.
Goals.
That's so we want our goals or our resolutions to be SMART. So those each stand for something. Jackie, do you know what those stand for by chance?
If I tell you, I know what some of them stand for.
I'm happy to fill in the blanks.
I know one is measurable.
Okay, that'd be the M.
I think it's sustainable. No,
close.
You'll give it to me.
No, I won't. But you're merging two together.
So
yes, the M is measurable.
Measurable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you know what the S stands for?
No.
Specific.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm thinking too.
You are.
Too
complicated.
Yeah, too complicated. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So specific, measurable. The A is attainable. Right. And then the R is realistic, which those kind of sound the same, but they're not.
Yeah, I always thought some of them were. They all blend together at a certain point.
And then the T is time-based or time-bound.
Yeah.
So we'll go through these a little bit, and then maybe we'll practice. We'll do a couple goals together. So the first one's specific. So going back to what we were talking about, like something I read off earlier, like to exercise more.
Right.
That is not right. That's not specific. That doesn't tell you what that means. What are you doing? Are you going to the gym? Are you doing yoga? Are you doing what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Measurable. So you want to basically have a way to go, how do I know I'm meeting this goal? So again, going back to I want to be healthy. Well, how do you know once you're like healthy?
Right.
Like, what does that?
Right. What does that look like? Yep.
So this is where you might add in like, I'm going to the gym twice a week or something like that. The A, the attainable or achievable, it just needs to be, I hate to use the word realistic, but in this sense, it's realistic in the sense that like you can actually do it. Like if you're like, oh, I want to go to the gym 5 hours a day, that may not be attainable. Like you have a job.
Right.
And,
you have too many things going on in your life.
You have things going on. And then the realistic is realistic to you. So again, do you even want to go to the gym 5 hours a day? Right. Like, is it, I think irrelevant is probably a better R than the realistic. Like, is it relevant to you? You know, are you saying like, I don't know, I want to eat more eggs every day, but then you're allergic to eggs. Like, well, then that's not relevant. Like, that's not relevant to you. And then the last one, the T, the time-based or time-bound, you do need some kind of, you know, I'm going to, over the next month, see how I go with this, or over the next 6 months, and then see where I'm at. So we want our goals or our resolutions to have a sense of all of those. Mm-hmm. So I brought some examples just from some that I was looking up. So there was the exercise more, lose weight, live life to the fullest.
What does that even mean?
Exactly. Quit smoking or take care of my mental health.
Okay.
So none of these are SMART goals.
Right. They're two statements basically at this point.
So what if let's take the one, let's live life to the fullest.
Oh my God.
So let's start there. So what you might do is if this is great. I mean, it's not to say that that's a
no,
good
it's
goal.
a fine goal, but it just that's very specific to you as a person. That's
Right.
not like, and that
Right.
statement is so broad.
So
what does
broad.
that even mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you need to make it more specific, and so you'd have to ask yourself, and we'll talk about this in a second.
Okay.
I have a little
Okay.
cheat that'll help with this one, but you have to ask yourself, like, what does that look like, right? Because like some people are gonna be like, spend time with my kids. You and I, not gonna work. One,
Hard no, yeah.
if I had kids, that would not be me living my life to the fullest.
No.
By any standard.
No.
But we also don't have kids, so
True.
that's not going to work for us. But if that's for you, then you might say, okay, so I want to spend time with my kids. Every week, there's your time bound.
Right.
Every week, we are going to do family movie night on Fridays. So that's very specific.
Yeah.
Tells you exactly what you're going to do. It's measurable because we have the one time a week.
Right.
We know if we're hitting that goal.
Right.
That seems achievable or attainable, right?
Mhm.
That's something you can do. It's relevant because you want to spend time with your family.
Right.
We think. And then it's time bound because again, there's that time of once a week or whatever it is. So it could be something like that, or you could say like, I want to travel more. I think people say that one.
Yeah, sure.
And I think that's a harder one because you can't just like travel, right? Like you have jobs,
Right.
and money
Well,
and
travel to where? Like where you wanted to
Right.
go? Is that like abroad? Is that within whatever country you
Right.
live? Like, I mean, there's so many different ways.
Right. So that would be your specific, right? Like, what does that? Not only I think where do you want to go, but when? Like, maybe that's where you sit down and say, okay, we're gonna plan one big trip for the year, and then one weekend getaway every month. But that also makes it measurable. You can work on the achievable part or the attainable part, like what's realistic for you, right? What's relevant for you in your life. And then again, have that kind of like time bound of like, it's every month or it's every whatever. So we got to have them SMART goals. Cause I want to lose weight. It's what is that?
Well, and like, what if you're
that?
only wanting to lose 10 pounds? I mean, that's pretty attainable pretty quickly.
Well, and then people, I think with that one specifically, people start to do like weight training.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, then you're not going to lose weight. You're probably not going to lose any weight. If you go from like, if you say I want to lose 10 pounds, but then you start lifting weights because then you gain muscle mass, muscle weighs more than fat, and then your weight doesn't shift very well.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the next thing.
Sure.
Because I think this will help people if you're feeling kind of stuck of like, gosh, I don't know what live life to the fullest means. And I think we've talked about this before with our dear friend Claire.
Oh, Claire.
We talked about like a values-based mindset.
Yes.
That can help you with these goals. And so the little formula that I've created, or I don't know that I created, I think I probably stole it from somebody.
Right.
Because I
lifted it from someone else.
I lifted it from somebody else. But it's the idea of you say that I value something.
Right.
And I commit to that by doing something.
Right.
So, for example, like with the goal of like, I want to be healthy. That's a goal. So we would switch that to I value my health. Because health isn't something you really achieve.
Right.
You don't achieve healthy, right? You don't like work out 7 times and then you're healthy.
Right. It doesn't work
that way. It's a constant state of being. And so you would change it to that I value my health, which one helps you decide like, do I really care? Because maybe you don't. Maybe you don't give a shit about your health.
Right. And that's totally fine if you don't.
And that's totally fine. But then using the word like commit then helps you decide if that next thing you really want to do.
Right.
So if you say I value my health and I commit to my health by going to the gym for 2 hours every day, and then you're like, oh, that sounds terrible.
That sounds like a hard no.
Then that's a hard no. Then we don't pick that thing. But then it also helps you to then pick out the little things that equal health. So like, I park further out when I go to the grocery store, or I'm going to go on a walk every day,
or I'm going to make dinner in 3 nights a week or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to make dinner at home. And then this also helps you to get at other values in your life, because then if you're at home, you're probably spending time with a partner or a pet or a friend or your kids and stuff like that.
We won't judge you if you have kids.
Well, we will, but we get it. You know, it's like I said before.
Yeah, it's
everyone live their truth. I might have something to say about it.
Sure.
But live your truth anyways. Yeah. So yeah, if you do it this way, this should help you find not only what's truly valuable to you, but then also like things you feel like you can actually do to attain that. So this is different from what we would call like outcome based, like we were talking about earlier, where I want to be healthy, so I'm going to work out 5 days a week. So when we do it that way, we set up the equation of healthy equals 5 days a week at the gym, or I'm working out 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So then when you go and you work out 4 days a week, you're like, I failed.
Yeah.
When in reality, you didn't, right? Like we talked about earlier. So yeah, so this can help you come up with those little goals and how you can kind of work towards that big one. So like going back to health, like, okay, maybe you're not ready for the gym. Maybe instead you work on your eating habits. So you're eating at home more, you're not eating out as much, or I don't know, you're eating like a carrot a day, or right, like it helps you start somewhere.
1 carrot a day, I love that. You've suddenly turned into a horse, I guess, at some point in your New Year's resolution.
I mean,
that would be me because I don't like carrots.
Right. Well, then again, I mean, so that'd be a terrible goal for you, right? And I think this is what people like get wrong about therapy is when they come in there like, well, tell me what to do, and I'm like, that's not how this works. If I do that, you're gonna look at me like I'm crazy because I'm saying, okay, well,
and you're not gonna do it. Like the number one way to get somebody not to do something is to tell them what to do. Yeah.
Yes. Well, but it's like, okay, yeah, I'll give you all the things that research says. Okay, go make sure you work out 20 minutes a day. Make sure you go outside 20 minutes a day. Make sure you eat lots of fruits and vegetables. And you're not going to do that because you're not doing it now. So shut up. So I think those are the two like biggest things that can help. So the SMART goals and then that values-based mindset. Now I did bring a couple other things. So the first one, and I think this is the most interesting, because we've talked about it before. We've talked about like writing it down, like writing down your goal or telling other people, right? So remember we had that psychology hack that said if you tell people, you won't do it. So when I was researching, there were lots of people saying, don't tell people. And I was like, what am I missing here? So I finally found somebody who had some research behind what they were saying.
Love it.
So evidently there is some research on what are called identity goals. So this is like you being like I want to be a healthier person, or I want to be a more like learned person, something where you're embodying some kind of identity. And there is some research that suggests that if you tell someone that goal, the reinforcement you get from people who are like, oh, that's a great goal, that's a good job, actually already gives you a sense of accomplishment, and therefore you're less likely to work towards it because you're getting reinforcement by people. And so you already feel like you've achieved it. Now, that being said, the research did say that they didn't look into then people's like how they were achieving that goal. So there was one person that said like, we didn't really look into like what people were doing, so that could actually have a bigger effect than when they were telling people.
Right.
So for example, like were the people who were telling their goal then like, you know, saying like, oh, I just want to lose weight and not actually implementing some of the things we're talking about today. So, you know, jury's still out, it sounds like, on if you should tell people your goal. I would say yes, and make sure you are doing some of the other things we talked about.
I'm with that too. I think it's a yes.
Especially the write it down. I mean, research does show that when you write something down, you are more likely to achieve it. And I think it helps you like plan it out with like SMART goals.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so make sure that you can tell people, but then make sure you have that solid plan. And I think the next thing that goes with that is having like an accountability partner.
Yeah.
It is hard, especially with like the weight goals.
Yeah, those are really hard to do by yourself.
Or if you live with someone and like you're trying to make all these changes and they're not.
Yeah, that's going to set yourself.
I think the same thing goes with like smoking too. Right, because if you're like, oh, okay, you know, one of my goals is I'm going to stop eating oatmeal cream pies. Don't know why that came to my mind first. But if your, you know, spouse is continuing to buy oatmeal cream pies, I mean.
Yeah, that's
what are you going to do, right? But having someone who can kind of like help you on those days that you're like, oh, I don't want to go work out, or I don't want to do this.
Right.
Another one is watching for what I call permission statements. So telling yourself like, oh, I'll work out tomorrow. It's okay.
Yeah, I was like, these are the ones that where it's like, oh, it's okay. I'm skipping today. I worked hard yesterday, and then you skip like the next 4 months. Exactly. So watching out for those, like understanding when like, yes, you need a break, or maybe it's too much. But I would say like if you are feeling stressed out by your goal, then you probably need to go back and rework it. Yeah.
You know, if you're like, oh, well, I've, you know, gone to the gym 2 hours every day this week. Well, we need to pull that back. Being flexible and open to changing your goals if they're not working. So kind of going back to that GPS roadmap. Like if you say I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week and that's just a struggle, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, do 2.
If 2's easier, then just do 2.
Then do 2. Fine. Exactly.
We're okay with that.
And I know we're using health a lot, but I think that can go for any.
Sometimes it's the easiest example to give people. Hopefully no one's offended. We don't know.
Care.
We don't know if you are. We don't really care.
We don't know. We don't care.
It's fine.
The next thing is to recognize that all progress is progress. So 30 minutes on the elliptical, that's great. Like if you said I was going to go to the gym, you didn't, and you went on a walk, that's
still
progress.
that's still something.
Like it's still something. So I always say anything is always better than nothing.
Yeah, you know what? I have my trainer. Sometimes we go through these like bouts of like where I want to like lose weight, and I won't gain weight, but I won't lose weight, and I'm like,
right,
boo,
right.
And he's like, well, you're not gaining, so like, why are you mad about it? And I was like, yeah, that's true.
Well, and that's something I talk about a lot with people too, because my background's in like health psychology. In that, when you there are so many other things to look for when you're working on, like how do your clothes fit? Because, like,
exactly.
Your fat is gonna shift.
Yeah.
Like, are you sleeping better? Do you have more energy? Are you like less pain? Like, there's so many better things than that scale.
Oh yeah, there's so much there. Yeah, the scale is. People forget, I think, that the scale is literally just a number, and people get really fixated on the numbers. And instead of thinking like the clothes fit is the best thing, because that's how you can really tell.
Exactly. Well, and again, if you're starting like weightlifting, you probably actually will gain weight. A lot of people gain weight when you gain muscle mass, because
I can attest to that.
You're gaining muscle.
Yeah.
I know you are so swole. So
exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm buff.
And then the last little tidbit is using schedules or alarms to your advantage. So
yeah, for sure.
Creating some kind of routine around this. Like, don't schedule your workout at like the busiest time of your day. Like,
yeah, that's a bad idea.
Figure out when it's best for you. Like, are you a morning person? Are you a night person? Like, put it in your phone as any type of other appointment or anything else that you might do. Or if it's something that you're trying to remind yourself to do, like setting an alarm on your phone and having it come up and say like,
time for a walk,
or time to draw something, or whatever you're trying to do. So those are little tidbits. What do you I mean, they're very simple. Like, and I know everyone's probably like, what's the secret? And it's like, there's no secret.
There's just really not. If your goal is to be healthy, you have to ask yourself, like, what does that mean to you? Does that mean you eat out less and you eat in more? You make your own food? Does that mean you go work out? Does that mean you take a walk? I mean, like, it's so specific to you. And so I think a lot of people get hung up on maybe the perceptions of other people's goals or what they would do, instead of thinking of like what works best for them.
Exactly. So, exactly. And I think there's another thing that you can do, going back to the like identity goals. Like, if you are feeling really stuck and you're like, I want to be healthy, or I'm trying to be more conscientious, or whatever it is, if it's kind of that identity goal, I mean, imagine what would a person who's healthy do? Right. Like, would they dog on themselves because they didn't go to the gym today? No, they would make sure they're still eating decently balanced meals and maybe go on a walk or do a workout at home, or like kind of try on that identity to help you with that too. I forgot to mention that earlier. I think another thing people do that I was going to say earlier is you can't just have the goal and think it will happen. Yeah. It's not a like build it and they will come. And what I picture is like people who are like, oh, we're going to have a baby, or we're going to get married, or we're going to buy a house, and that will fix our relationship. We don't do that here. Oh. Yeah, we don't do that here.
Whenever I hear people are like, well, it's not going very well with my partner, we're gonna have a kid, and I'm like, why would you
how do you think that's gonna work?
That's gonna make it worse.
Now, I think the logic is relatively sound in the fact that newness does give us a little dose of like serotonin and dopamine and all that good stuff, but
are you thinking of the other parts? Because that's what I think of.
And it's little baby it's like you're getting little baby doses. Yeah. Now, again, it can work, right? Like, sure, you can get a new house and it helps you change your environment. And we talked about how we are very environmental as far as how our brains work. However, if you just think, I'm going to take all this shit and put it over here and let it go and we'll see what happens. No. But if you go to a new house and you work on like your relationship or whatever it is, then that will help. So I guess time heals all wounds, but a little initiative never hurt anyone. Nobody. So
yes.
So what do you think? Anything I've missed? Anything for you as far as resolutions you would tell the kids, or anything for yourself that you feel like helps?
I mean, I think a lot of people, like I said, get hung up on the perception of what other people are doing. If you're a person who doesn't want to do resolutions, then don't do one.
Yeah, don't do them.
It's fine.
Right.
If
it doesn't have to be
how
a thing.
a lot of people, I read something recently that I thought was really interesting. And and I wish I could remember it because of course I read it and it's like immediately gone. But it was kind of like I read something that was like I pick a word every year and that's like what I focus on in the year, which I think is almost like a better like so like your word, you know, your word for 2023 could be like gratitude.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know.
Petty.
Yeah. Petty, exactly.
Petty.
Tired, meaning you're gonna sleep more. It could really be anything, but I thought even that was
that
was a good suggestion to resolutions because it's like, you know, if your word is love, well then that could be, you know, whatever you want to do. Is I mean, I love Netflix, so I will watch Netflix. I mean, it could be anything that you want.
Exactly.
So I think a lot of people get hung up on the perceptions of others, and then they base, you know, oh, I'm not, you know. My best friend's thing was, you know, lose weight and she's lost 30 pounds and I've lost 2. No.
We don't do that.
It doesn't, you know, it doesn't work like that. You can't compare the two things. So I think it's just, you got to find whatever works for you. If no resolutions work for you, then that's fine. Don't have one.
Exactly.
Do you.
Do you. Exactly. And I think don't say this is your year. We don't say that.
Well, you can say back on your bullshit. But
back on your bullshit.
Yeah, don't say this is, this is my year.
Because we all did that in 2020 and look what happened. We done fucked up.
Yes. Every year is your year.
That made me think when you were talking about that and why I'm saying this is I remember in 2020 there was this thing going around. I'm trying to find out my iPad right now where it was like 20 things I want to do in 2020 and it was like some therapist doing it. So I'm pretty sure that's how we all got COVID because I mean this was pretty popular. Like a lot of people were doing this and so I won't do all 20 because some of them are vastly embarrassing.
Okay.
But I will share on this list, I did maybe 2 of them.
Okay.
One of them was buy a house, which, I mean, I bought a condo, so I guess we'll count that one.
Same thing.
And then one was live my truth, which I think I do pretty regularly.
You do.
But some of them were to develop a yoga practice, which I didn't do. Learn more about Buddhism, which I didn't do. Connect with people on who they are, not what they do.
Definitely not you.
Definitely not me. Go to a conference. Didn't do that because
no one
COVID.
could do that.
And then take a picture every day for the entire year and make a collage. Didn't do that either because I have a terrible memory. Oh, be compassionate daily. Yeah, I don't.
No,
do that
that's
either.
not you.
So yeah, and I think that's why we all got COVID because we all thought we were the shit and we're not.
And we got told.
So don't do that.
No,
none of this 2023 is my year. No, it's not. It's none of our years. No. We all suck. We're all terrible. Deal with it.
Correct.
So do we just a quick little break maybe, and then we can do. I have a fun little a fetch or flop celebrating the new year.
Oh,
some ways to celebrate.
Okay.
So we'll be right back. And we're back.
We are back.
We're back.
If you would like to stick around at the end of the episode to hear what it's like to record with us, we have a little special surprise for you.
Yeah, it's been rough today.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
2023, not off to a great start.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
It only goes up from here.
right. That's what we can hope.
That's what we can hope. So I just want to end with a little fetch or flop. It's going to be kind of hard because these are how other countries celebrate. So I don't know that we can really flop them. Because that might be, I don't know, that probably isn't right. But
it's not very 2020 of us.
Yeah, I don't know if that's very, but
sure,
I
thought okay.
I thought it was interesting though, so we'll wing it. We'll see what happens. So the first one is round everything. So like round objects. And so this is all from Google, so don't come for me if this isn't true. This is from the Philippines. So the tradition is you find 12 different types of like a round fruit, one for each month of the year.
I don't even know.
As round objects represent wealth and prosperity.
Okay.
People also will wear like polka dot clothing and fill their pockets with round coins to help bring
all coins around.
Well, yeah. Did I say I meant fruits? Did I say fruits?
You said fruits at the beginning, then you said in their pockets round coins. And I'm like all
that's
coins
separate.
Around.
So sorry. They separate. So like they do coins in their pockets. Oh, maybe they don't have round coins. I don't know. I don't know Filipino money.
I don't know that I can name 12 round fruits though.
I don't think I could either. But I mean, they probably have different fruits than we do. It would be like an orange, an apple, cherry, grapes, plums. There's 5.
Apple.
Kiwi. I said apple.
Kiwi. Pomegranate.
Grapefruit. Watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon. Lime. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, wait, that's 11. We'll think of another one.
That's
So,
fine.
yeah, that's what they do in
Okay.
the Philippines.
I'm going to go fine because I don't know
Yeah.
that I love that.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
a
not my
fine.
culture, so I can't speak on
Exactly.
it. But
Yeah.
it's fine.
Not what I'm going to adopt.
That's hard to me. That's like a hard.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. And they have to eat them all.
Yeah, that's a no for me. I don't like fruit.
That sounds like my A1C is going to shoot right up. Can't have
Right.
that. Number 2, grape eating. This comes from Spain. So, and it's more complicated than you think.
Oh, no.
You eat 1 grape for each stroke of midnight. So, like, as midnight is happening, you're supposed to eat 1 grape. It's called Las 12 uvas de la suerte. The lucky grapes. So, for each successful grape that you eat on the stroke of midnight, you get 1 month of good luck. And so if you do it successfully for 12 times, you get a whole year.
What if you hate grapes?
Then
Like
you have
some of
no
us
luck. You don't
on
like
this
grapes?
couch. Well, I don't hate them, but yeah, I don't like them.
Oh, God. Well, then I guess
It's a flop for me because I don't like
you
grapes.
get no luck then.
It's fine.
So
I'll take it.
people, I guess, like train all year for this.
To wake up at midnight and eat a grape?
No, to like eat grapes. You have to, because you have to do it in like what, 12 seconds? I mean, because you have to eat it as it so like if the clock is like bong, you have to eat 1, bong 2, bong 3. Like, yeah.
Oh my God.
It sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it's a flop for me. I don't like grapes.
I think it sounds fun, but it sounds too hard. Again, too much work.
Too much, yeah.
Too much work. So the third one, wearing specific colored underpants. And this is actually in many countries. So the tradition is you wear a specific color of underwear for what you want for that year.
Okay.
So for example, in Argentina, they wear pink, or in Turkey and the Mediterranean, they wear red for love.
Sure.
In Mexico and Bolivia, they wear yellow for luck. And in Brazil, they wear white for good fortune.
Interesting. It's a flop for me because it sounds like a lot of work.
Yes. And I would have to say flop as well because, like, why underwear?
Yeah, like why
Like,
not
aren't
like a
they-
shirt or like
Yeah.
pants or like whatever your outfit is
Right.
red coordinated
Exactly.
or
Like what
whatever
happens? Yeah.
coordinated.
What if you're wearing like a yellow shirt but red underpants? Like, is the universe get confused or right? Like what's
The
going on?
universe doesn't know
here?
what to do with you. Yeah.
But I guess again in some of these it was saying that like these like I think it was it Turkey? They were saying red lingerie like you can't find it anywhere because people buy the fuck out of it because they're so serious about this.
Everybody's walking around with red drawers up in whatever country.
Look, yeah.
Things could be worse, I guess.
I don't know.
I won't judge it.
So yeah, it'd be a flop for me. I wouldn't think I would do that. The next one is item drops. So like dropping items. So this is the US, so we can make fun of it. So of course we think like the ball drop, right? Like the ball drop in New York.
Okay. I was like, dropping coins out of your pocket.
Well, so various towns across the United States will drop items for entertainment? ? I'm not really sure because when you hear some of the things, you'll be like, what the fuck? So in Boise, they do a giant lit potato called Glow-tato.
I would see that, yeah.
So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Brasstown, North Carolina, they drop an opossum.
No. Well, no, that's a no for me.
I wasn't sure if it was like a real, like a stuffed
Is it live?
I wasn't really sure. I didn't.
I can't be alive.
I didn't dig deep
like a stuffed
into that
animal.
one because I was scared.
Yeah, you never know.
They also said possum instead of opossum.
Oh.
So I was, that's
Hard pass.
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. They drop a 200-pound peep, like the marshmallow, disgusting marshmallow snack.
Jesus, because they're Bethlehem PA.
Well, it's not even spelled the same way. So
close enough.
But it's Pennsylvania, so what are you gonna do? And in Port Clinton, Ohio, they drop a giant fish called Wiley the walleye.
No, this sounds very American.
Very American. So
it's a flop for me.
It's a flop for me. I'll watch the ball drop, and that's.
We don't even. Well, we do watch the ball drop. It's not. It's not
exciting.
New Year's is my least favorite of the holidays, to be completely honest, because it's just so. It's so overhyped to me.
It is, and it's hard to stay up until midnight these days.
It is.
Can you believe? So old.
I know. Ugh.
The last one. This is actually a local one that my people my people do, which I don't do personally, but it's eating cabbage and beans for good luck. You eat cabbage and beans on New Year's
Sounds like
Day.
you want to be gassy.
I guess I looked into it. So it originated in New Orleans, where they do black-eyed peas and cabbage
Sure.
for like luck and prosperity, though it is a local treat in the podunk Midwest town I am from. Cabbage.
Sounds like you want to be gassy.
I
flop
think you
for
would
me.
be gassy. And yeah. So flop for
The
me
cabbage
too.
alone would
I'm
kill
out.
you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll eat the beans. That's fine. I do love beans, but cabbage is probably hard.
Yeah, the
pass
beans
on
would
me.
probably be okay. You'd probably be fine just beans with
Yeah.
the two of them. Yeah, that's a recipe for a rough morning.
Disaster. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So yeah, some ways that other places celebrate the new year.
Love it.
So there you go.
Love to learn about other places.
I know this. I know it's been very educational. I had to teach the kids
Yes,
today.
you did.
We've been doing too much of this
Yeah.
tomfoolery around here. we shan't
Right.
do it any
Right.
longer. Just
Mhm.
kidding. I'm sure the next episode will be
Great.
great.
Yeah, it'll be good.
So from our house to yours.
Yeah.
We hope you're having a wonderful new year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
And
Many blessings?
question mark?
Question mark? I don't know. Whatever you sell or celebrate, I don't care.
Well, we don't care, but we do hope that you will stay tired.
Yes, and petty.
And I did it, and I'm like, this is probably why we had COVID, because
Error 5. Spin Roomba side wheels to clean. Then press clean to restart.
so sorry the Roomba came on.
The robots are going to come for us.
It's behind the tree.
It's behind the tree. Also,
I wondered why
my
it was
headphones
there.
turned off in the middle of Kyle talking and said that the battery is low on my headphones.
Whoopsies. This is not our day, truly.